on top of the world, about to jump above it. Take it straight to the moon, 'cause we know how to rock it. Ain't no thing you can do, ain't no way to stop it. Now you're feeling it too, let's get it started. Throw your hands in the air while the beat is dropping. Acting like you don't care when everybody's watching. Just keep whipping your hair like that, you got it. Yeah, you're feeling it too, let's get it started. I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started. Starting to heat up, off the charts, off the meter. Turn it up, blow the speakers, make them all to believers. Break through the surface, tell them open the curtains. Give them all what they wanted, yeah. Now let's get it started. I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. Yeah, I'm ready, ready. I'm ready. Are you ready, ready? I'm ready. Let's get it started. Yeah, yeah, I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Let's go. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it, get it. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Give me something new. Time to break loose. Take it to another level. Now we on the move. Shout if you coming with me. Going over the limit. On your mark, keep it steady. So tell me, are you ready? I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started.
I literally just sat down. All right. I just come in from a football broadcast. I just jumped in front of the camera and I just plopped down. Welcome to coverage. We're back in black. Samuel Dyer is here. I'm Wesley Outland. We welcome you to coverage of the Northwest ARCA series as tonight we are at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Samuel, this is going to be fun. I like this racetrack.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. As you can see behind us, we're doing remote broadcasting. We're still in Atlanta with our screen behind us, but we'll see if we can do remote broadcasting at Gateway. But yeah, no, Gateway here tonight, Worldwide Technology Raceway. I was looking at the schedule and hearing from the drivers, this might be the most difficult race of the round of 8. Drivers unsure of how to tackle Gateway, which is what I would say a reverse Darlington, but flat.
We're in this together, Samuel. We're in this together, brother. I'm gonna be like you now, but I'm gonna be like Samuel here. We're in
There's
this
a
together.
difference,
So
though, Wes. I'm not choking when I have this top button, though. Are you good? You changing colors on me.
It's you know what, you make that look well. I don't, so I'm just gonna take this off and go to the side. So, but anyhow, hey, listen. So we're cutting up. We're having fun. It's Friday night. You gotta have fun on a Friday night, right? We're getting ready for the ARCA Northwest Tour Worldwide Technology Raceway. This is our first time at this racetrack. Samuel, we're in the round of 8. Is this a good track to come right out of the gate with for the next 3 rounds to determine who's going to go to the championship at Phoenix?
Yeah, I really love the fact that Gateway is the starting race for this round. It's testing the drivers, seeing their skills. Can you adapt to a brand new course where drivers are going to have to utilize downshifting as well as focusing on their braking points? As, like I said, Gateway is kind of a reverse Darlington, where both sides, this race course is kind of like an egg-shaped course where turns 1 and 2, much more narrower than turns 3 and 4. So drivers going to be having a lot as we lost Wesley. Oh, he's back. Oh, my
goodness. You moved him too far. I'm not going to repeat what our producer just said in our ear. We're not going to go there. So, oh, my goodness. Samuel, save me. we were talking about this, though. I mean, these drivers are really going to be on this short track. This is a short track that basically very exciting. You should be able to watch it. It's going to be exciting and fun. I know we only got like less than 20 cars here. We're down to the best of the best. 8 drivers fighting for the championship. They're back. We've got some of the Northwest regulars. Again, mind you, settle in for the home stretch because the next 5 weeks is going to determine who's going to be the champion. Last week was our break. Now we get ready for the playoffs and the run to the championship to decide who will win it at Phoenix.
Yeah, and looking at the field, like you know, Don, it's less than 20 drivers, and in looking at the roster, we're missing one of our playoff drivers. Toby Ritters is not here currently, and if he doesn't show up for the grid, he's going to be starting in a giant hole of missing a race. We've seen the drivers. I mean, Toby's really got to show up, but looking at the field, I mean, it's one of those things where we have seen drivers miss a race and come back, but it is going to be a lot to see if Toby Ritters does show up for the next 3 races, if he could dig himself out of the hole of missing tonight.
All right, so we're going to set the stage for you. When we come back, we'll look at your LSRTV 411, your weather conditions, and if you want to be a sponsor, contact us at livesimracing.com. That all leads up to the Team 126 Racing starting lineup, the ARCA Northwest, ready to go. Worldwide Technology Raceway, iRacing Friday night, your home for sim racing. We'll be right back.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, right? Our Ram trucks, truck of the year, amazing trucks. We have fun Jeeps, and then the exciting Dodge and Chrysler products. Lots of performance there, lots of excitement there. They've done a great job in really creating a full scope product line that could suit everybody's needs. Whether it's a family vehicle or a fun vehicle or a utility type vehicle or a big truck, we've got it all for our customers.
Hey, it's Wesley Outland on the set of the Bull Ring on Speed 51 TV, but I also want to remind everybody that you can keep up with coverage of esports with the Northwest Cup and Truck Series, the American iRacing League, S&B Cup Series, and so much more on your home for sim racing, LSRTV. Of course, remember, you can watch it, and then you can listen to it on CRN, the community radio network, at wearecrn.com. Check us out when you can.
Hey, Samuel, you remember Batman back in the 80s? Jack Nicholson, Joker, when his face froze? That was me.
I'm here to have some fun. Oh, man. Oh, man. This is going to be a fun night. Already can tell. We're excited to have some fun here. Wesley, this is a Gateway, interesting track for the drivers, but I think for us in the booth, we're going to learn a lot in these first couple of laps for these guys.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch here as we get you set for this race here tonight with the Northwest ARCA Series. They're getting ready to go. I believe it's 150 laps tonight here at the Worldwide Technology Raceway, formerly known as Gateway. Let's take a look at your race information. It's presented by Live Sim Racing. 30-minute practice, 2-lap qualifying. We think 152 laps.
Now, there's a reason for this, okay? Every single race, it has changed. The amount of laps we're going to run,
yes,
it changes every single. It's the day of the race where even it changed there. We were told this morning it was going to be 155 laps. Then it was 150 laps for a moment, and we figured out kind of close in the middle. 152 is going to be tonight's length.
Well, there you go. Somewhere within that distance, we'll let you know. All right, let's take a look at the weather conditions. It is nighttime. Nighttime is the right time. 81 degrees. Virtual temperature outside. Partly cloudy skies. Under the lights. Wind speed at 8 miles an hour. Track temperature is 83. So it's 2 miles warmer than the real ambient virtual temperature. So that's pretty close, Samuel.
Yeah, that is a hot night track. I mean, 81 ambient temperature. We're already in the dead of the night, so it's going to be warmer than the drivers probably were expecting, but still a cool enough track for these drivers to not worry about slip and sliding as much because of how hot the track is. but just enough for the tires to warm up after just one lap and a lap and a half, and should have enough grip to hold on for themselves. But all night, we're going to be seeing these drivers struggling with the off of the corner just because of how tricky Gateway can be, Wesley. This track, it is. I'm just excited for us to get green. We still got a little bit more time to wait.
Well, let's take a look at your. Let's talk. You took the words right out of my mouth, producer. Let's talk about the point standings, if you will, for the ARCA series of the Northwest, and it is definitely coming to a close here. Samuel, what's your take on things? Obviously, we're seeing Sean Breitzman and other guys that are just here running for races, having fun, but you're taking, and I don't think we got Toby Ritters here yet either. No Toby Ritters yet.
Yeah, Toby Ritters, one of the 8 drivers that's still racing for a championship, has not joined in, but as you can see, we're still under qualifying for the next almost 3.5 minutes. If the 23 gets into the server in time, he will be able to still register for the race, but if he is not here in the next 3.5 minutes, then Toby Ritters will have to start with a big 0 on tonight's and starting off the round of 8. But looking at some of the other drivers coming to tonight, first in points coming after a great run for himself, going to be Kevin Smith. Ryan Bloom's going to be in second in points. Robert Gamble in third. James Vining in fourth. Now, Toby Ritters would be 5th in points, but because he's not here, could be dropping and be the last driver in line with Frank Harris in 6th, Troy Daggett 7th in points, and that of Judd Wakefield 8th in points. Those are your elite 8 that are still here running. And looking at those drivers, I think the top 2, obviously, Kevin Smith, Ryan Bloom, they're the top dogs that everyone's going to be battling after. Looking at some of the drivers that are below, Troy Daggett, Judd Wakefield, both drivers that I think in their minds have to be aiming for a top 10 here tonight.
We're just about 2.5 minutes from introducing the starting lineup here tonight at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. This is Gateway, Illinois, located in St. Louis, Missouri. As this track is so unique, it is so fun. It's whether you see the trucks or the cars, the ARCA cars, the Indy cars, even in virtual, this place is exciting. It's long, it's fast. We should have a good race here coming up in just a few moments. Samuel, again, also first time ever in the playoffs that these guys are battling this racetrack.
Yeah, this course, so unique. Lap times longer than it would take for these drivers to run a 1.5 mile course. But what's interesting is Gateway is actually only 1 1/4 mile of a course. So shorter than 1.5 miles, but these drivers going to be running over about 30 to 35 seconds per lap. They're going to be really tested here. The biggest test is going to be the first corner of this race, turn 1. Drivers have to really woe down, as they've got to woe down because turns 1 and 2, the narrow part of this course, it's a lot wider for 3 and 4, where the drivers can get up to speed a lot quicker, making the exit of turn 4 one of the most entertaining front stretches, where drivers are going to be making a lot of passes on one another, and we could see a last lap pass if we get into a short run and a last dash later in this race.
And these drivers getting ready to run here in less than a minute. The drivers are on the racetrack, and it will be 152 laps, as our producer says in capital letters, we think, for tonight's event at Worldwide Technology Raceway, formerly known as St. Louis and Gateway Raceway, Gateway International. And we're getting ready. Watch them rumble strips. You see them down below the bottom of the racetrack. There is the retaining wall up on the top shelf, but there's that rumble strips. There's the grass. Sometimes maybe, Samuel, make some contact. Might get pushed down below the bottom of the apron. Might be fun to see here.
Yeah, I think slide jobs, that's something that we're going to be saying a lot here tonight. I've been hearing drivers saying the turn into turn 1 going to be one of the more difficult places for these drivers to get. So it's these drivers going to be hoping that the driver inside of them doesn't break in, come sliding up and make contact. But I think contact's what we're going to be seeing a lot of as well.
Well, we are ready to introduce them in just a couple of moments. The team 126 Racing starting lineup as the field will get gridded on the front straightaway behind the iRacing Ford Mustang pace car. Look at that virtual crowd packed in, ready to go. Your starting lineup presented by Team 126 Racing. And let's give it to you from Hermiston, Washington, Kevin Smith on the pole. The man that's the fast guy in the ARCA series in the number 1 spot. To the outside, Ryan Bloom in car number 25. We'll see what the Monster Energy machine can do on row 1. Row 2, Sean Breitzman, originally from Puyallup, Washington, down Tucson, Arizona, the 46 to the outside. The Cat Man in the 333. That's James Vining. Row number 3 on the grid will find Jeff Stabnow, eliminated from Cup and Truck Series playoffs after the round of 8. And, of course, moving into the round of 8 is what I meant to say. He now just has to focus on racing. Billings, Montana, 1 win on the year at Iowa, 424 to the outside. It is Dan Lowther in car number 63. Row number 4 on the grid will find Stephen Paulison in the 58, the Daytona Cup winner earlier in the season. And, of course, Samuel, 51, Troy Daggett, your top 8.
And then we drop back to row number 5, where we find that of Judd Wakefield as well as Robert Gamble, 2 drivers that are looking for solid days for themselves, both in our Elite 8, hoping to get at least a top 10, hopefully a top 5. Newcomer, it's going to be Will Duvall in the 85, making his debut race here in the Northwest Series in row number 6, with Aaron Cooper to his outside. Dropping back to row number 7, we find that of Dennis Moore and Ray Forner, who's going to be finishing out row number 7. Dennis Moore, driver who missed out on their last race in the ARCA Series, hoping to get a rebound here tonight with that of Frank Harris, and Russ Lombard finishing out the rest of his results.
So there is the lineup. Ready to go. Couple of preliminary laps. They'll pace the field. Kevin Smith and Ryan Bloom ready. Well, actually, they're not going to waste no time, Samuel. Lights are off on the pace car. I thought maybe they'd get a couple of laps before they turn them loose.
Yeah, this track, since it's above a mile, they only get 1 lap to giddy up and go. So these guys are ready to go up front. I'm interested for the drivers in the back. How well can they move forward for that of Dennis Moore? And also for Newcomer, I wonder what we're going to be seeing from that of Will Duvall in 12th position, how well he can get moving forward.
You see the drivers with green teal number on the spoiler and the front nose grille of the cars. That indicates they're one of the playoff contenders. The round of 8 begins here tonight. Pace cars in. Worldwide Technology Raceway. Drivers in blue are in the playoff in the Championship 8. Green flag is out, and it is official. 152 laps were underway.
It's officially 102 as already moving forward. Sean Breitzman to the inside. Wesley not taking too much time to get himself moving forward is the 46. Again, if an ARCA regular wins, they've got $100 on the line. But if Sean Breitzman or even Jeff Stabnow win, another $25 gets added to that pot for next week.
Breitzman on the inside. Honey Nut Cheerios, Hamburger Helper. Man, he's making me hungry just looking at that car. On the outside, Betty Crocker as well. Hasha inside, 46. Breitzman in the lead. Kevin Smith. And he'll have Breitzman pull up in front of him. Wash it down with a nice Monster Energy drink. And there's your top 3.
In this battle for 4th, you got James Vining in the 333. Talked with James before this race. He was very concerned about the first corners of 1 and 2 on how well he get this 333 going through the gears. But so far, great start. 5th position currently for that of James Vining, as he's got Jeff Stabnow to the outside moving forward. And now here comes that of Stephen Paulison. That of Dan Lowther trying to make the move of the 63.
Breitzman to the lead. There goes Vining. Vining and Dan Lowther battling for position. Those are drivers battling here for position inside the top 5. And I don't know what to think. I guess all these guys have got green spoilers on their cars. What Who the heck started this trend? Lowther's not in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think maybe Dan might have gotten the wrong template for himself. Loved the green color, just wanted to put it all over the 63. And
all aboard the Trump train. I like
it's
that.
Interesting.
I like it. All aboard the Trump train. That's on his car. We're just promoting his sponsor on the car, not our personal opinions. Paulison on the outside, the 58 car. The 7 as that goes on single file. Here comes now the primer colored machine of Troy Daggett, Mountain Dew, Chevrolet after Paulison, and we're 5 laps in.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about the start of the broadcast for that of Troy Daggett. Goal had to be a top 10 finish for the 51 team, and with it being, only 16 drivers showing up, hey, you never know what we're going to be seeing from the 51 team. But in front of them, that being Stephen Paulson, haven't seen Paulson in the ARCA cars in quite a long time. Good to see the 58 back in as there's contact in the back.
Off turn 4, couple of cars have crashed. Oh my goodness, is that Will Duvall? Welcome back to iRacing.
That is Will Duvall.
Oh my goodness.
And there was rumors of Will Duvall coming back in racing on iRacing and was able to come and race with the Northwest drivers. And there was talks of possibly the 32 racing the 38. The 85 on that of our ticker. But there was talks that he was going to be the driver to bring out the first yellow in almost 8 races of an on-track incident. And there he was, overcorrecting and hard smash also for Ray Fournier.
Ray Fournier and Will Duvall crashing there. Caution is out. All tore up on that Chevrolet number 32. We're not done yet. Let's ride on board with Will Duvall. We're going to ride on board with actually Ray Fournier now, the 426 car. Only success he's had this year was in Daytona in the trucks. He won one of the dash qualifiers on preliminary Wednesday night before the kickoff of the points season. Watch this calamity. Front nose, into the wall, back into the 32 of Duvall, and finally comes to a rest. All tore up, and that's what I love about these ARCA cars, Samuel. Man, you tear them up, they show the graphics of damage very nicely.
Yeah, the damage model on the ARCA cars ain't incredible, and we're just waiting for the damage models to be implemented in all the other series as well. But for Ray in the 26, I mean, Wesley, this seems to be his luck almost every race where he's just caught up in someone else's mess.
Yep, back under the yellow flag. First time here tonight as Sean Brightsman is the man out in front. You think of Hamburger Helper, you think of Pillsbury, you think of Cheerios, you think of Betty Crocker, you just think of hunger, you think of the 46 car. Now here's the question, Samuel. This is the question. On a serious note, what car is he mimicking from back in the NASCAR Cup Series days? What wrap job? What car? What color?
Oh, my brain is just not working. Oh, I just can't. I can see it, but I cannot think of the driver.
The late John Andretti from Indianapolis when he drove the Cheerios Hamburger Helper colors. And it wasn't the 46, it was a 43. Remember now?
Yeah, I'm remembering now. I need to. You're always testing me on how much history. I'm like, okay, I got to start from the early 2000s and just go backwards. At some point, I'll catch up to all the schemes.
Bridesman and, of course, ready to come back with Kevin Smith on the outside for the restart. Ryan Bloom, Jeff Stabnow, James Vining, top 5. Lights are off on the pace car. And there you see a little behind-the-scenes magic. Pace car
Always
is
Friday night.
in.
We get this little preview.
Always Friday night. Friday night. Pace car is in. They're back to the Geico restart zone. Bright spin on the handle. Green back out. Still a long way to go here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. High above aerial coverage presented by LSRTV. You want to be a sponsor? Contact us.
You can contact us on Facebook or on the website of livesimracingtv.com. And looking at up front, I mean, no surprise seeing Sean Brightsman up front. He has been doing this ever since he's really started joining the ARCA series, which with the playoffs and the amount of drivers that seem to be dropping off, there was a limit on how many times, drivers that were running for a Cup and a Trucks Championship on how many times you could come in and race with the ARCA drivers. When the playoffs came around, they opened it up to all drivers. If you wanted to come race on a Friday night, you could come in and race. And Sean Brightsman has been up front and almost been the favorite to win every single race that he shows up for, or it's been that of Jeff Stabnow. And right now, both drivers up in the top 5.
Front straightaway, 11 of 152 in with Sean Brightsman out in front. A couple of playoff drivers right there behind him. In the second and third of Kevin Smith, Ryan Bloom, Jeff Stabnow, James Vining. By the way, Toby Ritter's not able to be here tonight. And he is going to take a hit right out of the gate, Samuel, in the playoffs as we got a battle for the lead. Kevin Smith, P1 to the inside, looking for the lead on the front straightaway.
And Kevin Smith's got to be careful, side by side, going for the lead, hard into turn number 1. Again, this is the more narrow course, narrow side of the track, where you see these drivers slide up, and there goes the 0-0, and here comes the crossover move out of 2.
And they're going to battle side by side up the racetrack. Smith is there, down on the bottom. Oh no, Smith too high.
Oh.
Had to get up on the binders to check up and miss everybody as they all go by on the bottom. Bloom by, Stabnow by, Smith is by. Vining couldn't get around him. They'll slither back out of the top 5 single file into 1.
And we're seeing these drivers on the entry of the corners getting very wiggle loose in. It looks like they're trying to adjust their brake bias, trying to make sure that they've got their brake bias not too high. So when they're getting onto the brakes, they're not slowing down too much into turn 3, where you're seeing drivers drifting up. Vining drifts up, and here comes Kevin Smith, going to be making the move forward. Excuse me, that's actually Jeff Stabnow making the move onto the high side as we're on board with James Vining. And you're just seeing the drivers on the entries of turn 3 into turn 1 just trying to dial in how much brake they really need to get into. And that's what's great about the ARCA series, the development series, to give these guys plenty of track experience going into the rest of the week. Smith loose once again.
Kevin Smith was a loosey-goosey fish off that second turn. I haven't said this slogan in a while. A wiggle and a jiggle and a giggle and a bobble. He'll save it. Lap 15 of 152. 15 completed. Brightsman, Bloom, Stabnow, Smith, Vining, top 5. Smith at one time, Samuel, was all the way up to the lead, battling with Brightsman. Now he's fell back to 4th.
Yeah, got to be down 3 positions is the 0-0, and then you fall back 2 positions where you find that of Dennis Moore in the 44. Beaver State Racing 44 machine was in the playoffs, but because of missing the last race of the round of 12, got knocked out, could not move on to the round of 8, and now just racing for pride as the 44. And our biggest mover currently, Wesley, up 7 positions.
Brightsman, Bloom, Stabnow, Smith. There you see the 44, Dennis Moore trying to run down James Vining. Also Troy Daggett, Dan Lowther in that picture. Coming off of turn 4, back down the front straightaway.
Oh, Troy Daggett got to be careful for the 51. Got too close to that outside wall and just cranked it, almost clobbering the inside wall with that overcorrection.
Such a unique and fun racetrack.
And Wesley, what's so great about Gateway being the first racetrack of the round of 8 is just in 2 weeks, the driver is going to be going to New Hampshire, which is pretty similar in the way that there's not a lot of banking for these drivers to rely on, but that of New Hampshire only being a 1 mile short track instead of 1.25 miles of a course.
Down the back straightaway into the 3rd turn. Brightsman out in front. Bloom in 2nd. Stab down. Here comes Moore trying to run down Vining for that spot. They'll all stay single file. They work their way back off of turn number 4. Working down lap 19.
And you saw the 44. What we like to call going in a little bit too hard into these corners. And you saw the 44 come in with way more speed than the drivers around him, which pushed him up the track at the center of the corner. Got to be worried about those tires. When you come in that hot and heavy into these corners, you build up more heat, which can really loosen up the rear end at a track like Gateway on the exit of the corners. But you see Dennis Moore capitalizing on a great turns 3 and 4 moving forward. But these drivers not expected to make a pit stop until around lap 70 to 65. That's the window we're expecting for these drivers for fuel. Might be able to stretch it out to possibly up to 73 because of the timing of our first yellow. But drivers do not want to overcook their tires because we're not even halfway through what this would be considered their first stint on this set of tires.
"20 laps into this 152-lap event. One car sideways. That was, I believe, Dan Lowther. Sideways coming off turn 4. Fishtailed the car. He'll save it as now he's trying to go to the inside. A driver left of Vining. Daggett behind him. Moore in front of those cars is now Smith up the racetrack. James Vining. Or was that Jeff Stabnow with a bonsai move to the bottom of the racetrack?
Yeah, that was just
Wow.
Stabnow. Got loose out of the corner and it just darted him down low. Now giving a shot for Smith on the outside. As you see Dennis Moore, who's found a lot of speed here. He's starting to figure out Gateway with more and more track experience each lap that goes by. The 44 for a second, there was thinking 3 wide. It's going to back out, and now he's going to have to make the outside move on Stabnow.
Side by side off turn 4. Here they come to the back straightaway now. Into that 3rd turn, Vining. Stabnow up the racetrack. We saw that happen to Kevin Smith earlier. You get up the hill, you think you're okay up on the top side, but honestly, you lose all that momentum down on the bottom. And then you got to try to weasel your way off 4, just like we saw Stabnow do. Getting around Vining after Lowther, after Daggett, Paulison, as they're all right there in front of each other. Lap 24. 23 laps completed here. 1 caution so far, stopping the race after an accident involving Ray Fournier and Will Duvall. They continue along, but they're 1 lap down.
They're 1 lap down and still on the racing surface, luckily, as you're seeing the side-by-side action. Jeff Stabnow losing ground and going backwards. This 24 team, yes, he's only had just a handful of starts for himself, but Jeff Stabnow in the playoffs, we've seen, kind of just shows up in his practice is during the race time. The 24 didn't put too much time into practice earlier in the week for the ARCA cars. Just showed up and was putting in time, which we've seen these last couple of races during the playoffs for the 24 team. The first stint might be quick in the first 10 laps and then falls back because he's just trying to figure out how to use up the tires. As the 24 starts moving forward, other drivers thinking about pit road. Looks like the 129 into pit road for himself.
So we got a pit stop. Landberg pulling, and I think he's out. I think he's done. He called it a night.
Yeah, only put
Russ
down.
Lundberg is out.
Yeah, the 129 team, showed up for just 25 laps and said, that's a good enough experience for me. As into pit road as well, going to be that of the 50 of one of our playoff drivers, Judd Wakefield, going to be getting service done for himself.
So they are pitting early. Or do you think this is just about right, Samuel, to be pitting?
I think that might be an unscheduled stop for the 50 machine. And this is going to be a little bit of trouble for Judd Wakefield, another one of those drivers that was kind of in a similar state as Troy Daggett, needing a top 10 finish. Just make sure you're getting good enough points to keep the points battle close for the next 3 races. But this is trouble, and already a yellow coming out on lap 28.
Caution out for the second time tonight at Worldwide Technology. And we see a couple of cars around the Mist-A-Mite where it started. And we're thinking it might be Dan Lowther in car number 63. That's Frank Harris above him. Kodiak color.
We're seeing
getting in to Dan
Oh.
Lowther.
Oh, no.
Oh, they both turn each other.
And that's not the first time
Frank
we've
Harris
seen.
is probably saying, son of
Oh, absolutely. That is frustrating, as Frank Harris, another one of those playoff drivers that did not want to be caught up in someone else's mistakes. And you saw it there. Dan Lowther, one of the drivers that we've actually been seeing a lot. He got in the wall earlier about 8 laps ago, and then being involved with the 11, causing that accident. Just overcorrection, got too loose. But pit road about to get busy, and the other drivers thinking about not coming into pit road. Interesting call from those that are staying out. You see, it's Jeff Stab now, Troy Daggett, and others, while our whole entire top 4 all coming to pit road.
They're all coming out of the pit lane and work being done. Sean Breitzman, Ryan Bloom, Kevin Smith, Dennis Moore. All these cars coming in for work. Lap 29. Working lap 30. They're in their pit stall, Samuel. Ready to go to work.
Yeah, into pit road, getting service done. As our top 5 going to be drivers that have not come into pit road. The drivers that decided to stay out. Jeff Stabnow, Troy Daggett, Stephen Paulson, Aaron Cooper, and Frank Harris. As all the other ones coming into pit road, just getting service done. 4 tires and fuel. And
Whoa!
Sean Breitzman get a little frisky. Contact going to be made between the 00 and the 25 out of pit road. A little bit of scraping, shouldn't be too much, but hey, you don't want to be causing tempers at a short track where you could easily give someone a bump and run.
That was almost a wreck off pit road, if you will. By the way, 152 laps is the distance. If you're doing the math, lap 76 will be halfway. Lap 30 of 152. 29 laps completed. Let's give you a full field rundown as it stands right now after these pit stops, John. Jeff Stabnow is the leader. Troy Daggett second. Stephen Paulson third. Sean Breitzman is, well, actually, let's wait till timing and scoring updates because we've got cars that are in the pits right now and it's totally cattywampus timing and scoring. So we'll wait till we get everybody back in place and then we'll give you the full field rundown. We do know, though, that Jeff Stabnow did not pit. The SRX Superstar Racing Experience number 24 from Billings, Montana. And he is now your leader. The Mountain Dew number 51, Troy Daggett, is in second. Stephen Paulson will come out third. Samuel, looks like it's updated a little bit, so that's for the better. Stephen Paulson third, Sean Breitzman fourth. Ryan Bloom is in fifth. Then it's Kevin Smith, Dennis Moore, James Vining halfway through the field on lap number 30.
Yeah, and then ninth, you got Robert Gamble. 10th place going to be Dan Lowther. And just getting service done just a lap later is going to be that of Ray Forner as well as Aaron Cooper in 11th and 12th. Frank Harris still in pit road, just getting out. So Frank Harris, try not to use the fast repair for the 11 machine, trying to save it for later on if caught up in a worse incident, with the drivers being a lap down, being that of Will Duvall. Judd Wakefield as already in 16th position, our first DNF of the night, leaving the race, going to be that of Russ Lombard.
So there is the fulfilled rundown. 30 laps in here, 31 laps completed. Lights are off on the pace car. Monday night, we're right back here. Samuel, I think it's going to be fun. Nighttime for Cup and Truck at Worldwide Technology Raceway. This should be an interesting race coming up.
Oh, absolutely.
Something
and
different.
In the Cup cars, the Cup's drivers have been so aggressive against one another. We've seen so many more cautions coming from the Cup side of things. I cannot wait to see what tempers flare up from Monday night. That is going to be an amazing show of the week. And then trucks, they've been keeping it clean, keeping it classy, but still amazing racing on the truck side of things where, hey, it's just like the ARCA guys, the start of round 8.
Should be fun to watch. Ready. Jeff Stab now. Pace car in. He'll send it back underway. Lap 32 of 152. And Stab down to the lead. Daggett inside. Brightsman, fastest of the cars that pitted a moment ago. About got wrecked coming off the pit lane, actually.
And now we get to see a good look of what drivers that have 30-lap fresher tires compared to those that decide to stay out. Jeff Stab now, Troy Daggett as well as that of Stephen Paulson decided to stay out. And now we get to see what Sean Breisman can do. Went extremely wide, and they're still duking it out, trying to see who's going to be that first driver with the newest tires on who can move forward. As the 00 blocking them, Wesley, not giving any space.
Two, 3 lanes fast, inside, outside. Brightsman trying to get around Bloom on the outside. While that goes on, Smith after Stab now clears him, coming through inside. Stab now under attack by 2 cars, Samuel, making 3 as Moore jumps in that battle. This is for second. Going to turn 1, 4 cars, and Smith is gone.
Yeah, Smith is, honestly, he just needs to get going, get away from everyone else. Same for Ryan Bloom. Both drivers getting going. Here comes Sean Breisman, going to be forcing the issue. Going to be going 3 wide into turn number 3.
Trying to stick it 3 wide for third. This is Moore. Stab now. Brightsman. Boom, boom, boom. Like pendulums picking him up and knocking him down. Vining and Lowther there. Daggett across the line, single file, top 4, back to turn 1.
And for that of Jeff Stab now, he learned a lot of good information from that run. Hey, you can hold out, defend for about a lap and a half. But if this thing goes into a green-white checkered situation and everyone goes into pit road, staying out might not be might be a decent strategy to try to throw out. Maybe even go for 2 tires in a late strategy for a win. This is just early knowledge for the 24 team as well as for that Troy Daggett on, hey, if we get put in these late strategy type of situations, we now have that knowledge on how to work it later on. But that's if you get into those late strategy moments, because if this race continues to stay green, the 24 and the 51 going to be trapped in a situation where they're going to have to come into pit road around lap 75 to 80. They have to be hoping that they can at least get halfway.
And remember, lap number 76 will be the halfway mark of the race. Smith is the leader. Bloom in second. Moore, Brightsman, Vining, top 5. There is Stab now. He's fell all the way back to 7th. And there you see now the rest of the cars. It's Stab now sideways. Harris. Daggett getting on the binders behind him. Dan Lowther says, stay away from me.
I mean, if anything, they're just trying to gain as many positions. When you see someone get loose out of the corner, your goal, get either back off, give them space, or make the pass immediately. As Troy Daggett tried to make an aggressive move on Stab now, but now given an opportunity for that of Robert Gamble. Gamble, one of our playoff drivers, came in third in the points, was the 54 team, and Robert Gamble placing himself in a spot where it's been consistency. Maybe not the fastest driver each and every race, but certainly puts himself in a position to gain the maximum amount of points, while other drivers, they might be good for one race and then terrible the next. The 54 always looking for top 10 and top 5 finishes. And coming into this race, that of Robert Gamble comes in with 9 top 5s and 17 top 10s. That is the second most of top 10s for the 54 team.
Working on lap number 40 this time by. They're Stab now, along with Gamble. Fighting for 8th and 7th and 8th position. This is in the top 10. Frank Harris, after being collected in that accident earlier with Dan Lowther. Lowther back up to 6th. Frank Harris 9th. By the way, the cars in blue are the ones in the playoffs to kick off the round of 8. You win, you advance to the championship 4. It's that simple, Samuel. 4 races. If you win tonight, you're going to Phoenix for the championship.
Yeah, winning tonight, I mean, that takes such the load off from worrying about
Vegas.
any of the next 3 races.
Vegas for the championship. Yeah, my apologies. I'm thinking NASCAR in Phoenix. It's Vegas for the championship.
No problem there, Wesley. But, you know, thinking back to the last round for these drivers, I mean, it was Kevin Smith, who's leading currently, that won the first race at the Indianapolis road course, starting out the round of 12, coming into the round of 8. I mean, Smith now has that pressure. He's looking for a win. I think that's been on his mind all week, of trying to get a win for this 00, but it's Ryan Bloom following him behind. And it's been these 2 drivers that have won the most coming into tonight and have been the top dogs at the ARCA Series since the ARCA Series was thrown out. And with no surprise, they're up front. But here, watching the battle for third, it's Dennis Moore and Sean Breitzman. And Dennis Moore just looking for a shot to possibly just get some redemption after missing at Atlanta, got knocked out of the round of 12 and had a shot to make it into the round of 8. Did not have enough points after missing Atlanta, and now just racing for himself.
You're exactly right. And these drivers, obviously, as it comes down to the end of the stretch, Samuel, you got to want to do the best that you can. You want to stay out of trouble. We're seeing now Dennis Moore. He's got a good, strong run. He's in third, one of the Beaver State drivers. And honestly, Samuel, we've talked about the Beaver State clan. We've talked about Lake Peterson and Dennis Moore. These guys have put themselves in the catbird and have put themselves in contention to not only go for wins, but for championships. And that's exactly what Dennis Moore's doing. No, he's not one of the playoff guys, but you can rest assured in this ARCA program, he's using as much seat time possible, Samuel, to help him with Cup and Truck.
Yeah, and he was previously in the playoffs, like I noted on. That's why he still has that greenish tint on his front splitter and on the spoiler. Just forgot to take it off of his scheme here tonight. As for the 44 team, as you're seeing drivers further back in the field, Frank Harris now going to be pressuring that of Jeff Stad now. These drivers on 2 very different tire stints, as the 24 still is not pitted. And Harris, after being involved in our last incident to bring out a caution, is now trying to utilize this fresh rubber to be moving forward in the 11, making the pass just so easy. And now Troy Daggett trying to make some moves going forward, but Daggett, similar Jeff Stab now, on those older tires, still is not pitted this race for the 51 or the 24.
So So they have not pitted yet. Oh my goodness. So Samuel, obviously, next caution, they're going to pit, or they're going to have to pit. They're going to stretch it out as long as they can. Do you think that was a good strategy by those two cars to have done that?
Yeah, I think it was 3 drivers as well. That if Stephen Paulson also was involved in that, and you know, for getting early knowledge in this race, I like the idea of coming in the idea of not coming in, and just staying out, getting that knowledge of what is it like being on older tires compared to having fresh tires and that 30 lap difference. But that was in the knowledge of thinking that this race was going to have a lot more cautions coming out. I'm not expecting to see a lot of cautions coming out. I mean, Wesley, those last 2 cautions that we just had, those were the first on-track incident cautions that have been thrown in almost 8 races. I mean, it has been quite a long streak that these ARCA drivers have had without having a yellow being thrown. So for the drivers that did not pit, you're hoping for an unlikely situation to strike if you're going to get back into a catbird seat to really challenge for a victory. At this point, for Jeff Stabnow and for that of Troy Daggett, Stephen Paulson, they're just banking on a caution coming out, but who knows if it will come out here tonight.
Down the back straightaway, Moore, Breitzman, 3rd, 4th, closing in on lap number 50. Caution is
they
out.
were wondering if there was going to be a caution.
And there it is, 3rd time, and the yellow flag flies. We will take a commercial break. Obviously, I was thinking of taking one, but now under caution, 3rd time. Let's find that Pulse Popper instant replay, and we'll find out what happened here. Oh,
whoa.
No, here we go. They both wreck each other again. Ray Fournier and Will Duvall can't stay away from each other. It's a virtual iRacing attraction. At least
we
the
got to
gateway.
figure out what happened to Will Duvall. I mean, he just shot from the grass and came back up into the 26, and taking a look to see what happened to himself as Will Duvall, this is his debut race with the Northwest iRacing Series. You see him blink out for a quick second, and that's technical issues, it looks like, for that of 32, and then comes back, and I do know that Will races with a VR system, so he's got an Oculus over his eyes, and my guess, with the way that his whole entire car just blinked out and came back, that looks to be errors. Yeah, I mean, it looks like he had some internet, maybe his screen went black and hoped for the best, and I hate to see a situation like that for 2 drivers that already had an incident and now heavy damage for themselves.
Kind of like what happened to me when we came on the air, when my camera went black. Yeah. Pop in, pop out.
Just go. Doo-doo.
Under caution, we'll be back with more in a moment from Worldwide Technology Raceway, closing in on 100 laps to go.
Hey, it's Wesley Outland on the set of the Bull Ring on Speed 51 TV, but I also want to remind everybody that you can keep up with coverage of esports with the Northwest Cup and Truck Series, the American iRacing League, S&B Cup Series, and so much more on your home for sim racing, LSRTV. Of course, remember, you can watch it, and then you can listen to it on CRN, the Community Radio Network, at wearecrn.com. Check us out when you can.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, right? Our Ram trucks, truck of the year, amazing trucks. We have fun Jeeps, and then the exciting Dodge and Chrysler products. Lots of performance there, lots of excitement there. They've done a great job in really creating a full scope product line that could suit everybody's needs. Whether it's a family vehicle or a fun vehicle or a utility type vehicle or a big truck, we've got it all for our customers.
Back here at Worldwide Technology Raceway of Gateway. Samuel Dyer, Wesley Outland back here with you. Thanks again to Tom Denchel Automotive Group. There you see the 00, the Hermiston, Washington man behind him. Kevin Smith leading the way. Brian Bloom. Of course, thanks to Rocket Media. Live Sim Racing on production. Hey, by the way, don't forget now, every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central in the morning, it is Finish Line with yours truly, Fox Sports Radio affiliates across the Carolinas, as well as on iHeartRadio Sports, and now, in addition to the Community Radio Network, because it's my company, I like to play it. And of course now, Live Sim Racing TV Productions, LSRTV Productions, handling the video portion of it. Samuel, you able to check out some of that on Wednesday, bud? What do you think of it?
I actually stayed up all night, and that was how my morning started, was watching Finish Line live. I was excited to stay up and watch it. I was one of those viewers that was there, and it was awesome to see Finish Line on LSRTV.
It's awesome. Had a lot of great guests, and we'll do it again every Wednesday. We normally take a break around the holiday break, but we fire right back up. Green flag back out. Kevin Smith on the loud pedal, green flag. By the way, I believe we're trying to get Braxton DeWeese lined up to be on Finish Line on Wednesday, Samuel, because he is the Season 3 back-to-back S&B Cup Series champion. I heard he dominated Kansas.
Oh, he dominated for sure. There were some drivers that were showing threats, but mistakes continued to tack on to other playoff drivers and also drivers that were trying to hunt for a victory. But it was the 8 machine of Braxton DeWeese on Wednesday night that became the back-to-back Kansas winner and S&B champion. It was incredible to watch how picture perfect really his whole entire season was. Didn't really have a slip-up at all season, and he collected himself another championship for that 8 team.
And by the way, speaking of a new league that's coming, if you want to look at the bottom of the ticker, in January, the Sim 500 League, and it is the Sim 500 Trans Service Cup Series. Joey Katina, my buddy, has come to LSR TV. Nasra is returning to LSR TV. A lot of cool things happening with your home for sim racing. Samuel, we're looking forward to it, buddy.
Oh, there is a lot of racing action that we're preparing for 2022. We are so jazzed to see how it's going to go. But another caution going to be thrown and more drivers piling in, it looks like, on the backstretch.
Oh, no. Dan Lowther, Aaron Cooper. Caution is out for the 4th time. Judd Wakefield involved, the one-armed wonder. Here we go again. Samuel, the old cliche, cautions breed cautions. We're seeing that.
Oh, absolutely. And the drivers were even noted on it. This track has been so difficult all week. As see Dan overcorrecting, it's been an issue for himself. Troy Dackett somehow able to survive.
Oh,
but
Frank Harris!
63 just lets the car drift back up, and what? Eric Cooper? His car
Eric
wanted
Cooper
to sit
had a
back
lot of anger in his life.
The track just said, you know what, this is your spot to stay. Hopefully you don't get motion sickness, because this is going to be a wild ride.
This will be fun. Enjoy it. Unless you're somebody that gets very sick easily, very dizzy from dizzy spinning, turn away. Right about now. Yeah, right now. Turn away.
And just see the 63 just...
Yeah, here you go. Look at
and
this.
then just everyone else. Yeah. Rewind. Let's go back.
Nothing like the spin. Nothing like the spin cycle.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, looking at that, I don't know if Dan Leather had any way of stopping, but it looked like he just let that 63 machine just drift back in front of the track instead of trying to hold the brakes on the inside. And that's one of the things that you try to work on early on. And luckily, this is a development series of the ARCA series, letting drivers hone their craft, get more track experience. And that's something that you got to learn. Hold the brakes so you don't involve other drivers into an incident later on.
Lap 58 of 152. Coming up, we will have it halfway, the Tom Denchel Automotive Group mid-race report. But for right now, Samuel, could we say this is the Kevin Smith show for ARCA for the Northwest? I mean, he's pretty much done. He's been the top dog here.
Yeah, I would say probably after the second caution of the day, it has been all Kevin Smith. He got up front, and it all came from the restart when we saw the three drivers, that being Jeff Stabnow, Troy Daggett, Stephen Paulson, all stay out and not come into pit road. Kevin Smith found the way of getting past those three drivers very quickly compared to everyone else that kind of seemed like they got jammed up and clogged up, wasn't able to get moving back around lap 37. And ever since then, Kevin Smith's been able to get up front, stay up front. But watch out for Sean Bridesman, as well as Jeff Stabnow. Stabnow's now got fresh rubber and actually has fresher tires than the drivers in front of him. That 24 is going to be on the move on this next restart.
Well, it looks like we're trying to find out what's going on. NVIDIA share system error, unknown hardware error happened to Will Duvall. This is what he just posted on social media just a few moments ago. Samuel, what is NVIDIA share? It's a hardware error is what they're saying. And that is what caused Will Duvall to crash, I guess.
That is meaning that he is having a his graphics card is not having a good day. His graphics card has failed him, and he's noted on this past week he's been having a lot of computer issues, and it looks like it is finally capped off here Friday night racing for the Northwest ARCA series. Will Duvall tried to debut here tonight, and his computer said, you know what, you were running okay in those first 5 laps. From there on out, his computer is now basically shut off on itself. It will not work for the rest of the night. And that 83 team trying to get things fixed up, and it looks like he might have gotten things going on track, but this is certainly not the way that he wanted that race to go for himself.
It'll be lap number 60 completed and 16 laps to halfway when they come back to the Geico restart zone and take the restart. And the green flag. Kevin Smith, Ryan Bloom, row 1, Sean Breitzman, James Viney. Samuel, what can we say about the Catman? Got a good run going for him in the top 5, top 6, along with Jeff Stabnow. Green flag, back out here at Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway.
As we're seeing them attacking side by side for second, Ryan Bloom seeing that of Sean Breitzman to the inside. That 25 Monster Energy drink machine trying to get moving and still battling side by side. And Ryan Bloom coming in second in points and has the most wins of all the drivers in the ARCA series with 5, looking for win number 6 here tonight. And he has been Mr. Consistent. Might not be have gotten the most best runs while we've been streaming here on LSRTV of the ARCA series, but when we haven't been streaming, the 25 team has been one of the top drivers week in and week out, and we're hoping to see if he could capitalize on a great start so far in the first half of the race. As Ryan Bloom currently in 3rd, but coming in tonight, he's had 16 top 5s, 19 top 10s. That is the most in both categories and the most wins with 5, excuse me.
Coming up on halfway again as they work their way back across the start-finish line into 1 and 2. Breitzman back up to 2nd. Ryan Bloom behind him in 3rd. Jeff Stabnow in a comfortable position. So is also James Vining in the top 5. Good run for him. Gamble, Paulson, Daggett, all these drivers, all patiently right now in their own little world, staying out of trouble. And Samuel, 5 caution flags in the first 60 laps of the race. Very surprised with that. I thought we might have maybe 1 caution and then a green flag run, but that's not been the case here tonight at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
No, it hasn't. I think maybe 1 to 2 cautions was in our mind. Possibly here tonight is Troy Daggett into the wall. You saw out at turn 2 on the corner of our picture. But these drivers, I mean, here tonight, it has been a very tough night. I mean, Gateway, a track that doesn't have a ton of banking through each side of the racetrack, and also similar to that of Darlington, to where both ends of the courses, the corners are not the same. It's an egg shape. Turns 1 and 2, much more narrower, where you have to get hard on the brakes into turn 1, like we're seeing here, and get back onto the throttle. And some drivers actually downshifting through turns 1 and 2, which is why we're seeing the drivers get higher RPMs, spinning out and getting loose. And then into turns 3, the much wider end of the course, where you don't have to slow down as much. You try to figure out how to carry as much speed through this corner. You see Dennis Moore making the pressure on that of Robert Gamble in front of the 58 and 51. And that's a lap around Gateway, but drivers certainly, this is a tough task, and it seems like you're just trying to find that rhythm, and that's all that this track is. Gateway kind of similar to a short track in a way of you just got to find the rhythm and get into it quickly, because when you get off your tilt, everything just goes up in smoke quickly.
Yeah, for sure. Tilt, indeed. 10 laps this time by to halfway. And we'll set ourselves in for the second half of this race here at Worldwide Technology Raceway of Gateway. Coverage of the Northwest ARCA Playoffs Round of 8 opener on your home for sim racing. Working off of that second turn down the back straightaway. Under attack is now 54. Robert Gamble, Troy Daggett on the inside. Paulison closing in. This is in the top 10, and that battle goes on probably best on the racetrack, Samuel, off turn 4.
Yeah, it's one of the closest battles so far on track, that of Troy Daggett, Gamble, and Paulison. And it's great to see these drivers running so well, especially that of Stephen Paulison in the 58 that's trying to attack the 54. Haven't seen Paulison all throughout the playoffs. Showed up for the Indianapolis road course for all 3 series, and see Daggett once again out of turn 2. It's been a struggle point for himself, but still having a lot of speed even with that loose sensation that he's been dealing with. But Stephen Paulison been showing up now here tonight. Hope that this is a consistency that we get to see from the 58 that has been knocked out of all of his playoff positions. But Stephen Paulison, we've seen pace from him in this ARCA series, and hoping to carry it forward here tonight.
Lap 69 coming up on the board. Closing in on 70 laps. There you see Paulison. I'll tell you what, Samuel, we watch these guys. Look at this battle now. This is for the lead. Sean Breitzman closing in. Willen and Dillon, he was dirt tracking it there a minute ago. Look at that. I don't know if that was a bump draft. Yeah, even though they're on the mile track, it's kind of like Talladega or Daytona. You can be able to bump draft here. And he was trying to reel him in, and then he got sideways exiting off that corner, Samuel.
Yeah, you don't want to do too much bump drafting, though. In these ARCA cars, if you bump onto the rear bumper of the driver in front of you, you actually don't give him a clean bump. If anything, you actually start to lift the driver in front of you, and those rear tires get off the course, and you get the driver in front of you extremely loose. So you don't want to do too much bumping, as up front 2 are battling, but they got to watch out as the driver with some fresh tires and actually running faster laps. Jeff Stabnow closing in each and every lap, and that means Sean Breitzman needs to make this pass for the lead quickly, or they're both going to be caught extremely fast as the 24 is coming with a head of steam.
There's Stabnow. He's back. He fell all the way back at one time, all the way to the top 10, or down in the top 10. And now up to third. The leaders separated by almost a second in the top 4 from Smith to Moore. And there is Moore all over the back door of Stabnow's car. And Ryan Bloom patiently there as well in 25 as they go to 3.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Stabnow touched on the fact that he's got fresh tires. Well, even fresher than Jeff Stabnow is Dennis Moore. As our front two, they pitted back under our second caution flag back on around lap 30. Well, for that of Jeff Stabnow, he pitted back on lap 50. And for Dennis Moore, he pitted on lap 57. And that means that that's 44 freshest tires. But he's trying to get back on the throttle so soon through the center of the corner. That's where the 44 is getting a lot of his speed. They got to be careful. Get on the throttle too soon. That 44 can find himself either getting loose, seeing the rear end slipping on him, or he find himself into that outside wall on the exit. As here it comes, Dennis Moore to the inside, trying to make the pass for third.
Just as you said, Samuel, here comes Stabnow trying to battle back on the outside lane, but I don't think he'll get him. And while that goes on, Smith and Brightsman continue to play here kitty-kitty with one another. Cat and mouse continues between these drivers as they work their way. At Worldwide Technology Raceway.
There goes the
It's
pass
still
for the
a lot
44,
of
finally.
That's right, buddy. This racetrack is in Madison, Illinois, just outside of St. Louis. And this is coming up here in a few more laps on halfway. A lot of cautions that we've seen so far. More than I thought we would. But nonetheless, we settle ourselves in for the second half down the front straightaway. It's Smith and Moore, Brightsman, Stabnow. Halfway next time by.
And Dennis Moore, the 44 team, moving up and now up to second. Biggest mover so far, up 11 positions is that of Dennis Moore. But he wants one more spot for himself.
And as the field works their way back down the front straightaway, halfway home here at Gateway. And this now sets us up for the Tom Denschel Auto Group Midway Report at Worldwide Technology Raceway. I am Wesley Outland. Down alongside is Mr. Samuel Dyer. The race continues to your side right there. And Samuel, right now, it's all Kevin Smith, but a lot of caution flags plaguing the first half of the race. I don't think we were expecting that. Do you think we're going to see the same in the second half? Your thoughts of the first half so far?
Now, I'm really expecting this race to continue to go green, but the more difficult thing for these drivers, we've seen that it's been picking and choosing when you want to come into pit road. That is going to be one of the things for these drivers. For the guys that pitted back on our second caution of the day, such as Kevin Smith, Sean Bridesman, they're aiming around lap 100. That's going to be their go zone to come into the pit road. But for all the other drivers that have pitted for that of the fourth or fifth caution that have come out, their marking point's going to be around lap 125. But for this first half, like you said, Wesley, a lot of cautions that we weren't expecting. But I think the second half, expecting a lot of green flag racing.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right on that. I think some of the mistakes that we've seen so far has been what's caused these cautions. Obviously, we saw the the blinking issue, the server error that made Will Duvall crash the times he did into Ray Fournier. You think of also the incident involving the driver of Frank Harris and a couple of cautions on that exchange. Other than that, it's been a fairly clean race. Does anybody got anything for Kevin Smith? Because he looks like he is the dominator, and honestly, he's the number one seed. He wins this race, Samuel. He punches his ticket in the next 3 weeks. It doesn't matter. He's going to Vegas to race for a championship.
Well, if anyone's going to get it done, it's going to be Dennis Moore, because Moore just made the pass for the lead currently, and a little bit of rough racing's going on with the 44 and the 00, but Moore has made the pass. So I think if anything, your question might have been answered. If the really is going to be this pit road stop, how much time is Dennis Moore going to be willing to give the drivers that come into pit road around lap 100? Does he stay out, go fully on his fuel tank, go out to a lap 120, or does he pit just a couple of laps after Smith and others make their final pit stop?
He looks content. He looks very, very happy. We're closing in on lap number 80, and that has been your Tom Denschel Automotive Group mid-race report as we go back to on-track action here at Worldwide Technology Raceway, settling in for the second half of this race here tonight. While we're doing that, 80 laps in, let's give you your full field rundown here at WWTR. Dennis Moore leads, Kevin Smith is second, Sean Brightsman third, Ryan Bloom is fourth, Jeff Stabnow is fifth, James Vining sixth, Stephen Paulison is seventh, Troy Daggett is in the eighth position in car number 51, Samuel.
Yeah, and then in ninth place, rebounding after being involved in the wreck is going to be that of Frank Harris. Harris needing a solid day for himself. Going to be outside of our top 4 points-wise coming into tonight. So needing a solid day, as well as that another playoff driver, Robert Gamble, going to be finishing out your top 10 currently of the 54 in 10th place. Going to be a lap down. It's going to be that of Dan Lather in the 63. Aaron Cooper is going to be in 12th place for the 71. With that of Judd Wakefield in 13th, and officially out of the race, going to be that of Ray Forner, as well as that of Will Duvall and Russ Lumberg, who's going to be coming into, going to be out of the race into pit road. Though it's Dan Lather going to be getting service done for the 63 team.
So some work being done on Lowther. He comes in the 63 Chevrolet. Cooper is in. Actually, my apologies. Cooper is in pits, but he's actually out of the race. So there's 5 cars out of the race, Samuel. Cooper, Wakefield, Fournier, and Duvall and Lundberg, where it all started.
Yeah, and a lot of the drivers coming into this race did have one fast repair. So if you got any type of damage, you come into pit road, hit that fast repair button, and it gives you a brand new car. But most of the drivers that were involved in our first 5 incidences of today, they were caught up in multiple wrecks. And because they used their fast repair on that first wreck, weren't expecting to be involved in another one, found their race being ended quickly. And, you know, for the drivers that were involved, for that of Judd Wakefield, biggest hit of them all, as he's one of our playoff drivers. He's got to figure out how to rebound, as well as we've noted on at the start of the broadcast, Toby Ritter's not showing up here tonight. So that team in a giant hole and kind of a must-win scenario going into these next 3 races, which, Wesley, we're going to Chicagoland, New Hampshire, and Homestead to finish out round number 8.
Lap 86 of 152, and as we said, those tracks to decide who's going to Vegas to race for the championship. And that's different, Samuel, than years past. You know, normally they go to Phoenix and they kind of mimic the NASCAR schedule, if you will, and kind of throwing some loops in this round of 8, changing things up in the playoffs. And I like it. I like it.
Oh, I like it too. As we watch the battle for second place, Sean Brightsman, actually this is a battle for the lead, excuse me. Dennis Moore has fallen back as Kevin Smith and Sean Brightsman battling for the lead. 00 on the outside, still holding strong, but Dennis Moore powered his way to the lead, now falling back, using up too much of those tires and also a little bit of side damage. Got to be worrying for that 44 team, but Kevin Smith doing great up front. But I love the fact that we're going to be going to Las Vegas to figure out a champion. That means it's going to be basically mile-and-a-half draft package of anyone who's in our Final 4 has a shot to win, but also has a shot to be involved in some pretty gnarly wrecks.
That's exactly right. Should be an exciting, fun time. We're glad you're along for the ride. There is Dennis Moore. He sits in third. He's right there in the cat's whisker of the leaders, where Brightsman and Smith continue to battle again. Sean Brightsman back out in front in the 5 races of the ARCA Northwest, Samuel. Sean Brightsman has won 2 out of 5 so far.
Yeah, he has been on a tear, and he does come with motivation, as put up by that of Tom Denchel Auto Group, $25 to the driver that is officially an ARCA member, a driver that is racing for an ARCA championship. If one of those drivers, such as Kevin Smith, Dennis Moore, or Ryan Bloom, or any of the drivers that are in blue, besides Jeff Stabnow and Sean Brightsman, one of those drivers win, they could be winning some cash at the end of the line. And this all started with the playoffs, when the cash was put on the line for these drivers to give incentive for ARCA drivers to come back. And with that of Sean Brightsman as well as Jeff Stabnow winning, this has bumped the total, which originally was $25. Well, that $25 gets pushed to the next week, and the next week until an ARCA driver wins. So the pot coming into tonight, Wesley, $100. But if Sean Brightsman or Jeff Stabnow win tonight, that pot grows to $125 the next week. And that's what the motivation's been for Sean Brightsman and for Jeff Stabnow. They want to bump the total up for this pot up to what could be $200 to an ARCA driver that wins at Las Vegas for the finale.
That's awesome. Wow. Come take the money. And the question is, who will it be? Lap 90 complete. Working lap 91. Samuel Dyer, Wesley Outland back here with you. Rocket Media, live sim racing coverage for the Northwest iRacing ARCA Series. And Sean Brightsman, originally from Puyallup, Washington, now from Tucson, Arizona, hauling the mail, leading them in 46. There's Kevin Smith from Hermiston, Washington, sideways, battling another man of the Beaver State gang of Dennis Moore in 44. 2 seconds back behind them is Jeff Stabnow. There you see him right there. Just a little glimpse of him.
He's just a little bit out there. Needs to get a little bit more time if possible, but still, I got to think of the drivers that still need to come into pit road. After coming into pit road, a lot of different strategies have been thrown out for the drivers that are still out on track. Our top 10 still out on track. Dan Lather has been in pit road trying to get required time finished on that 68 team. As talking about pit road, looks like the 00 going onto the off exit road where drivers have to go if they're coming into pit road. Wesley, there's an access road to get into pit road as well as an out exit that these drivers have to take. You can gain and lose a lot of time as the 25 was rocketing his way into pit road.
Down on pit lane, Kevin Smith is in. Ryan Bloom behind him, along with Frank Harris, Robert Gamble. Samuel, could you say money stop as we approach lap 100? Here they come.
Yeah, and this is a big thing with the money stop. You have to be perfect from here on out. We saw the 25 being aggressive on the exit road into pit road, but he did slow down. It looked like in time once he got to the piles and the lines. So Ryan Bloom able to gain a lot of time by being aggressive. What that of Kevin Smith might be losing time with how fast you are getting on and off of pit road. Is James Viney now into pit road? Other drivers that came in as well, Frank Harris, Robert Gamble, as it's only our top 10 that are still racing currently, Wesley. We started with 16, but they keep on dwindling down.
And I just have to say, I am so impressed with the run that these drivers have had so far, especially James Viney. More cars on the pit lane. Sean Brightsman giving up the lead. He pits. Stabnow back to the lead. Paulison to second. Daggett third. Here comes 46 in for his money stop. Samuel in front of you.
Yeah, and Sean Brightsman makes sense. Come in, was thinking around lap 100, but once they saw all the other drivers coming into pit road, their eyes are now on coming to pit road quickly. The 44, though, of Dennis Moore, I'm concerned, but you see him move, was not caught speeding, but Dennis Moore did lock up his brakes, making sure he was slow enough on entry, and also don't want to be caught speeding off exit. You can be caught with penalties in moving forward. And drivers that are now on track, we're still waiting on our top 3 to come onto pit road. Jeff Stabnow, Stephen Paulson, and Troy Daggett still need to make their pit stop, and they can stretch it out to around lap 120 to 115. That's their window that they can stretch it out to. But it's a question if they want, as a 25 for Ryan Bloom, who put down the fastest lap of the night. That last lap is now unlapped himself, as well as Dennis Moore. The 25 looking for a shot to win here.
Ryan Bloom right now in the 6th position. As Stabnow is your leader after a cycle of pit stops. They've got to all pit. But remember though, Samuel, Stabnow, Paulson pitted earlier, which was in later than everyone else did in this last sequence.
Yeah, they were about 20 laps later.
Yep. So the question is, Samuel, is that in favor of the 24?
I mean, currently, right now, I don't think it is. Looking at the drivers that are on track and with their last lap compared to what Jeff Stabnow's running right now, Stabnow's losing about 2 seconds to a second and a half each lap that he continues to stay out on track. And he's been out there from when the other drivers have already pitted. Of those that have already pitted, Kevin Smith's going to be the first of those. And Smith right now, he is flying on course, as well as the driver behind him of Sean Bridesman. And it certainly is looking like if we stay green and once the pit cycle goes through, it's going to be a battle between the 00 and the 46 coming to the end of this thing.
Closing in on lap 100. Stabnow, Paulson, Daggett, Smith, Breitzman. Your top 5. $52 laps to go next time by. Remember, the Northwest iRacing Cup Series is back at it again Monday night right here from Worldwide Technology Raceway, the iRacing Simulator. Coverage on simulcasting, Live Sim Racing TV, and the Community Radio Network at CRN Sports begins at 11:35 Eastern, 10:35 Central, 8:35 Pacific. I had a train of thought there. Lost for a second, Samuel. I was trying to think what time you're going to be 3 hours later.
And for that race on Monday, should be, we don't know, it keeps on changing on us, but should be 140 laps for the Cup drivers. So trimming it down by 12 laps. No, it's just not 152, just 140 for the Cup drivers, unless it changes on us on the day of the racing. So the Cup drivers don't have to think about stretching it as far as we're seeing these ARCA drivers, as Jeff Stabnow into pit road, and now could be gifting another position for that of Kevin Smith and Sean Bridesman, as you see the 24 into pit road, gifting the lead to the 58 of that of Stephen Paulson.
We wondered if Stabnow could go the distance, and we see now that he cannot, as he will come down to the pit lane to the attention of his crew. Money stop. Now here's the thing, Samuel. Everyone else might have used up tires quicker than everyone else. Stabnow will not. And he will stay on the racetrack in 9th. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, I mean, with Stabnow, you're touching on the tires. I mean, the drivers that have already pitted, they were putting down the fastest laps of the day. They are not trying to save at all. And that's telling me that the drivers are recognizing, hey, we were saving way too much on our tires. Let's get aggressive. But for Sean Bridesman, he's got for that of Jeff Stabnow, excuse me, the 24, he can be patient here. It's still a lot of racing to go, and if he's patient, lets his tires just slowly gain each and every lap, might be able to find himself cracking back into the top 5 at the end of this thing, because he's still got a lot of lap and a lot of time to be gaining, as he is going to be really about 15 seconds back from that of Kevin Smith and Sean Bridesman. That is just too much time to be gaining back on drivers, as he stayed out, in my opinion, just too long for the 24.
Troy Daggett is now the leader, but it's going to cycle back around, obviously, to Sean Bridesman and Kevin Smith.
But that's a huge lap to be led by Troy Daggett. Drivers do get 1 bonus point for leading a lap, so hey, that 1 point could be what gets Troy Daggett into a shot to race for a championship at Las Vegas. And you want to start out well as he gets into his pit box, but he slides too far, had to back up, Wesley.
Uh-oh. And as that goes on, we told you Daggett would pit the Mountain Dew Chevrolet, and that gives now the lead back to Bridesman, Smith, and Bloom. 1, 2, and 3. So you saw the cycle of green flag pit stops. We're going to go side by side for our final commercial, and then we will take you to the checkered flag as lap 107 is on the board. Who will win from Gateway? We'll be back to take you to the finish when we return on your home for sim racing, LSRTV's coverage of the Northwest ARCA Racing Series.
This is our series,
So many different pieces that you have to watch out for.
where the stakes are always higher,
$300,000.
where virtual meets reality,
How bad do you want it? They're wasting no time getting at it.
where the best thrive and the flawless win. This is the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series.
Hey, it's Wesley Outland on the set of the Bull Ring on Speed 51 TV, but I also want to remind everybody that you can keep up with coverage of esports with the Northwest Cup and Truck Series, the American iRacing League, S&B Cup Series, and so much more on your home for sim racing, LSRTV. Of course, remember, you can watch it, and then you can listen to it on CRN, the Community Radio Network, at wearecrn.com. Check us out when you can.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, right? Our Ram trucks, truck of the year, amazing trucks. We have fun Jeeps, and then the exciting Dodge and Chrysler products. Lots of performance there, lots of excitement there. They've done a great job in really creating a full scope product line that could suit everybody's needs. Whether it's a family vehicle or a fun vehicle or a utility type vehicle or a big truck, we've got it all for our customers.
Shootout time here at Gateway Worldwide Technology Raceway, and it's 110 laps completed this time by, coming up on 42 laps to go. Welcome back to coverage. Samuel Dyer in California, Wesley Outland, North Carolina, all the way from one side of the US of A to the other. In the middle is the LSRTV Rocket Media production truck handling the broadcasts. NASCAR is at No Limits, Texas this weekend. And here at Gateway, Samuel, it is all Sean Bridesman. There's Troy Daggett and Kevin Smith trying to run him down to get back to the leader with under 40 laps to go.
Yeah, currently we see the 51 getting by that of Kevin Smith. Currently a lap down is Troy Daggett, who is one of the last drivers to make a pit stop. The money stop, as all drivers have made their final pit stop of the evening, unless another caution comes out, which Wesley, looking at the drivers, if another caution comes out, the whole entire field still has one more set of tires if needed. And everyone made sure, hey, we had one set just in case a late caution came out in these final 40 laps.
The question is, will it happen? You think, Samuel, they're settled in for the finish. You said that in our mid-race report.
Yeah, I still feel like I could stick with that. I feel like that was a good call on my part. Usually when you see a lot of drivers bring cautions out early on in a race, it's drivers just not feeling comfortable with the racetrack, and it's kind of a weeding out process when you just have a caution on top of another caution. And that's kind of what we had for the first half of this race. And now, second half, it's all about making it to the end. No more needing to focus on green flag pit stops, and it's just hope that you can survive and make it, as Troy Daggett trying to unlap himself quickly as we look at some of the other drivers and where they lie. Best track and battle forward position, as there goes. That is Stephen Paulson making the pass for 7th place.
Paulson has not showed any success on the Northwest since he won Daytona's Wild Cup race. And he got eliminated in both the Northwest Cup and Truck Series playoffs. He's one of those Northwest contenders just joining. And Samuel, let's be honest here. Breitzman, Moore, Stabnow, Paulson, Lowther, Cooper, Fournier. If those drivers weren't here, because I'm not really going to count Lundberg or Duvall, if they weren't here, we would only have like maybe 8 or 9 drivers in this ARCA Northwest Series race tonight.
Yeah, we would only really be seeing our playoff drivers showing up, which we missed one. I mean, that of Toby Ritters did not show up for tonight's race, so only 7 of our Elite 8 showed up for tonight's race. And yeah, it would have been a very small field, and it would have been a sad 152 laps if we only had 7 drivers on track.
There is Frank Harris on the racetrack. He's in 8th, across the start-finish line. Who will be joining our top 3 in our finish line post-race wrap-up? Of course, remember, Finish Line now on live LSRTV Productions every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central. And we're also proud to sponsor the Finish Line post-race wrap-up with the drivers. And that'll begin tonight here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. There is the 44, Dennis Moore, down the back straightaway. Ryan Bloom to 3rd. And he is right there in front of him, but I don't know, Samuel. Caution, no caution. I don't know if he's going to get him.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the focus was really on that Just Stabnow. How long was the 24 going to stay out? And he actually stayed out 7 laps longer than that of Sean Breitzman. And when you stay out that long, you're giving up, each lap is about 2 seconds to a second and a half. And Sean Breitzman just kept on capitalizing on other drivers' mistakes. For Kevin Smith, he was right on the back bumper. He was only about a half a second off of Sean Breitzman. And for Breitzman, even with Kevin Smith pitting 2 laps sooner than the 46 machine, didn't gain any time. If anything, lost time. And the big reason for that was running and being a little bit too passive on the pit entry. With the on-axis and off-axis roads, the 00 was very slow, losing a lot of time and giving that time to the 46 of Sean Breitzman to just pull away and have this massive lead that he has currently. And now the question is, will there be lap traffic to worry about? And Troy Daggett got away, but Troy Daggett now is being reeled back in by our leader.
There's Breitzman. You heard the stats. In 2 wins in 4 rounds or 5 rounds of the opening playoffs of ARCA, he won. He's now going to go 3 for 6. If he pulls it off here tonight, he's leading the way. And obviously, Samuel, you're carrying all that momentum of being a winner on the ARCA series. Going into the Cup in the truck race on Monday and Wednesday as well. But there's been other times, Samuel, that we've seen Sean Breitzman dominate ARCA and then struggle in the Northwest Cup and truck races, and we both have placed our bets thinking that he would be the top dog and somebody else prevails.
Yeah, I mean, thinking back to, back on September 17th, that's when we had the ARCA race at the Indianapolis Oval, the second race of the round of 12. That's when we saw Sean Brightsman just dominate with an amazing pit strategy of pitting earlier than everyone else and still in frame to do well for himself. And then really for the Cup and Trucks, wasn't a factor at any of those racetracks. And, you think back also to Atlanta 2 weeks ago. That's the last time we saw Sean Brightsman get a win in the ARCA series. And at the same time, I wouldn't say had a similar showing as Indy. He was extremely quick. Was this 46 team that almost had a shot to win in the Cup Series, but there was a little bit of controversy sprinkled over that race with seeing Cole Raz on purpose bringing out a yellow and giving a shot for some drivers have a chance to stay in the playoffs and others not. But for Sean Brightsman right now, it's nice getting wins. I mean, looking at his ARCA series as a whole, this is his 7th start in the ARCA series. He has only 2 wins, was at the Indy Oval and also Atlanta, the last ARCA race we were at, and has figured out to get 4 top 5s and has finished in the top 10 every single time he has been in an ARCA race. And with the fact that everyone outside the top 10 has parked it for the night, hey, that's going to be 7 for 7 for Sean Brightsman in the top 10 category.
And Sean Brightsman, honestly, like you said, to reiterate more on that, is going to be batting 50-50 in the ARCA series. There's Paulison. Decent day for him. He's 22 seconds back to the leader. He is on the lead lap in 7th. There's 10 cars on the lead lap. Every car is on the lead lap, Samuel. 11th on back. They're out. Lowther, Cooper, Wakefield, Bourdier, Duval, Lundberg. They're out.
Yeah, everyone, this coming in, I mean, heard from a lot of the drivers. One of the toughest races of the playoffs. An unknown. I mean, Wesley, you noted on it. First time that the Northwest Series has been to Gateway, which is with seeing the amount of cautions that the ARCA Series has shown, because before today's race, we have seen so many races go caution-free in this ARCA Series. It kind of puts a little bit of a question mark on what are we going to see for Monday and Wednesday. Monday for the Cup Series, Wednesday for the trucks, but I'm a little concerned. How are those drivers going to be able to fray here at Gateway?
Yeah, so cut up on 25 laps to go next time by. Brightsman, by the way, we're working our longest green flag run of the race. There's James Vining, Stephen Paulison. That's 6th and 7th on the racetrack. Down the back straightaway.
And as we're watching this, I think Dennis Moore might have had a little bit of a scare for the 44 team. Biggest mover of the night is see Paulison ducking low, trying to get by James Vining. Vining, like you've been noting on all night, Wesley, what a great run he's been having for the 333. And if anything, you got to give credit to the practice and dedication James Vining has put in for this whole entire season. It kind of all came together at Atlanta for the Truck Series with a top 3 finish for the 333, and it just keeps on building on each and every race. The amount of practice that I see James put in and the amount of information that he also feeds for us at LSRTV of how these cars are reacting in each series. It's amazing to see the dedication that we've seen James Vining have, and honestly, the great finishes he's been getting these last couple of weeks.
James Vining has really impressed us all. He's impressed us in the broadcast booth, at least. And I have to say, the same sentiments, Samuel. What a job he has done on the cusp of wrapping things up here tonight as he sits in a nice position in 7th. There's Vining. As Samuel mentioned, sitting there in 7th. He's trying to close in on Paulison. If he can get to him, that'll put him in 6th. And all the while, Sean Brightsman still the man leading the way. There's Paulison's car. And Paulison, Samuel, almost 23 seconds back. There's Stabnow. Stabnow is 19 seconds back to the top 3 in 4th as he crosses the start-finish line, and it's 21 to go.
Yeah, I noted on a fact of the 44 of Dennis Moore. It looked like he might have had issues for himself. Well, those issues have now forced the 44 into pit road. Unscheduled stop for Dennis Moore. And hoping that this is not a race-ending issue for that team, but losing a lot of ground and getting service done currently is Dennis Moore in pit road.
There is Ryan Bloom. He sits in 3rd. The Monster Energy colors of that Chevrolet Camaro. If you want to be honest, he's mocking the colors of the 2021 ARCA Menard Series National Champion Ty Gibbs.
Yeah,
because
Ty
that's
Gibbs
exactly,
well.
Samuel, what Gibbs' car looks like, except it's an 18 instead of a 25.
Gibbs' car also, you know, what Kurt Busch was running for the longest time with the Monster Energy drink scheme. I'm a huge fan of the Monster Energy drink schemes. They are always stylish. I love the black with that, green that they're rocking with. I am just always a fan whenever I see a Monster Energy drink car. It is always going to look great whenever you put it on.
20 laps to go. You're the monster. He sits in 3rd. Brightsman is the man leading the way. You like Hamburger Helper? You like Betty Crocker? You like Cheerios? Yeah. You like Pillsbury? Woohoo! All those food sponsors are on that car and leads the way. I'm sorry.
Oh, Wesley, you're just making me hungry just going down that, man. I'm waiting for after this race, then I'm going to start eating food. We got to keep on going down the list.
Let's have some Hamburger Helper. Looking good. Brightsman off turn number 3 and 4 this time by. Under 20 laps to go. 19, 18 to go when they come to the stripe.
With Sean Brightsman up front, we noted on Dennis Moore having issues and having to come into pit road. Unscheduled stop. Still in pit road is the 44 team. In pit road, Wesley, we only have 9 drivers left on the racing surface. As you see the difference of first place back to 3rd. As Ryan Bloom, looking at his last lap, running a little bit slower than that of Kevin Smith. But Jess Stabnow, a little bit too far to try to gain time, but a lot of speed's been shown from a lot of these drivers that are up front. And for Ryan Bloom, what a solid run for himself, just points-wise. I think, yes, a win would be great. You're locking yourself in. But Wesley, I think the biggest goal for these first, 2 races of this round is get as many points as possible.
$17 to go, as Samuel just was talking about. These drivers really trying so hard to try to accumulate as many points needed. And if you can't win the race, if you're not going to win by a non-points racer, you at least want to do what Kevin Smith and Ryan Bloom are doing, Samuel. And that's at least be with now 16 to go in 2nd and 3rd, because consistency accumulates points.
Oh, absolutely. And that's really what's helped both the 00 and the 25 to be our top runners currently here at Gateway. And as well in points. They're both the top dogs coming into the round of 8. And the other drivers that they were really concerned about had to be that of Robert Gamble and James Vining. Both those drivers, they might not be getting wins each and every week. but they certainly have been figuring out how to get just top 10s in consistent finishes, as that's why we're seeing Vining up in 6th position. And Gamble, this was not the best race for that 54 team, but just trying to get everything that they can, currently in 9th. As I noted on again, it's only our top 9 that are still on track with 15 to go, coming up to 14 to go.
There is Robert Gamble, 54. Nice, comfortable run in 9th. He is a lap down. Troy Daggett is a lap down. 7th place car, Frank Harris, is the last car on the lead lap. 7 cars on the lead lap as we approach 14. Now make it 13 to go when they come back to the start-finish line. And all Sean Brightsman. By the way, what was it, around lap number 55 or so when we had the caution? Since then, we've gone caution-free to the finish. And Samuel, you thought that that was a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen in this series, it is very possible for these drivers to go green all the way through, even from the start of the race to the end. And it was kind of just getting the rust off. I mean, these drivers did have a week off to really hone on this race. And also, newcomer of Will Duvall coming in, and also the unknowns of how this race was going to attest to these drivers, a racetrack that this whole entire series has never gone to. The unknowns were certainly high and above everyone's heads, and I think that's what really attested to those first 55 laps of caution racing, is drivers were just trying to get used to this race. And I think for all the drivers that are here, they're loving the fact that they got this track experience, but at the same time, with all of the practice and now race experience, a little bit of concern starts to boil in with how Monday and Wednesday is going to go.
And we saw Sean Brightsman do the same thing in the first round of 12, where he literally would just dominate in ARCA, move his way to the cup level. Sometimes he prevailed, sometimes he struggled. And Samuel, let's talk about this as we move into 10 laps to go. These ARCA cars are so different than the Cup and Truck Series iRacing machines that they operate on the simulator.
Yeah, I mean, if I've talked to a lot of the drivers, and a lot of them actually say the ARCA cars might be one of the more difficult machines to tackle, because there's just so much power, and the grip level is just not always there for the ARCA cars, where you have to really focus on your throttle control, on how easy you get back into the throttle when you're coming on the exit of the corner, as well as got to be super light on the brakes when you're trying to slow down. So these ARCA machines, a great way to practice throughout the week. And if anything, the ARCA cars pretty similar to how the Cup machines are going to work, as both the ARCA and the Cup drivers dealing with fixed setups, meaning that the setups that are in the cars are the same for everyone. It's all about the driver's skill on how they attack these machines. It's when you get to the trucks where things get a little different, because you have all week to prepare and make a setup. That for the trucks, it is an open setup session, meaning all the setups are different. Drivers are picking and choosing what makes them feel more comfortable with their vehicles. So that's what makes Wednesday so different from everything else. But these ARCA cars, very difficult to handle, but I think that's what makes them so great for the development series, Wesley, is, hey, if you're dealing with the most difficult car, it's going to make things a lot easier throughout the rest of the week.
That's right. And it is time to go. If anybody has got anything for Sean Brightsman, they better show it now. But honestly, Samuel, the interval, this is for 3rd. Getting around lap car, Troy Daggett for 8th. Ryan Bloom, 6 seconds back. Kevin Smith, 3.5 seconds back to the leader, Sean Brightsman. 8 laps to go. They need a caution. And without a caution, this race is done.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that's kind of hurting that of Kevin Smith and Ryan Bloom that are running 2nd and 3rd, they're on older tires than that of Sean Brightsman. Brightsman pitted back on lap 95, while Smith and Bloom both pitted on lap 93. So they're both going to have to figure out how to attest it and move forward. But, man, tonight it has been all about Sean Breitzman up front, and he's just been conquering while everyone else has just been floundering here tonight.
I like that. Conquering and floundering. How do you like your Tapalapa? And by the way, I did that, okay? I did that to wake you up. How do you like your He told me to shut up and eat my chicken. Five to go. Oh, we had to have some type of humor here.
We got some soup. It's late night. Here we go.
It's tilapia. I know what the hell it is, okay? I said it's tilapia. I'm just messing around. He said, shut up and go eat your chicken. I love chicken, okay? Leave me alone, producer. We're almost done. You were so good. Now you're going to mess us up the last 5 laps. I did. I had a lot of chicken sandwiches. Well, anyhow, folks, back to reality. Sandwiches? 5 to go. I do. I had a lot of chicken sandwiches. 4 to go. Sean Breitzman out in front. There's Jeff Stab now. He's in 4th. Everything was good till him got started. You know that, Samuel?
It was one of those. We were so good, and then we brought up food, and then we went off the rails.
Oh, that's right. It is. It's SpongeBob. His new nickname is not Sims anymore. It's SpongeBob. It's.
Man, we must sound like Squidward to him, just complaining.
It's SpongeBob. Hey, do you guys see the online webcam.hd? Online strips without clothing? I have no idea what that means. 4 laps to go. Well, I'm just seeing it. I'm just seeing it in the chat box. And, of course, Keith Bradley's in the house.
Yeah, if anything, just ignore that. And don't mess with it.
Yeah, don't click the link, whatever you do. Dennis Moore says it's all about seat time.
Oh, I believe that.
3 laps to go to the line. It will be 2 remaining. And Sean Breitzman is about to be in 6 ARCA races, 3 for 3. Boy, oh boy. The man is getting it done, Samuel. Here he comes to the back straightaway. And it's almost to the home stretch at Gateway.
Most definitely. Wesley, I do want to just give a slight correction. This is actually his 7th race of the season. But, yeah, for his past 6 starts, last 6 starts, 3 wins. It's looking good.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to keep up with. I'm sorry. Yeah. White flag and the CRN 1 to go. Line, Samuel. Wow.
Yeah, that is just showing the speed that this 46 machine had. Sean Breitzman coming in. And as well, because he is a non-ARCA driver regular, the pot continues to grow. Next week, the pot is now going to be $125 for if an ARCA regular finds victory lane.
And the pot continues to grow as Sean Breitzman gets it done again. You like Pillsbury? You like Banquet? You like Cheerios? You like Betty Crocker? You like Hamburger Helper? Well, there's all those food sponsors. That's the food. Now, Grand's Biscuits are good. Woo-hoo! Pillsbury, they're celebrating.
That's my favorite part.
Samuel, the Doughboy's ready to get plowed. Oh, Kevin Smith. Here you go. It's not done yet. Yeah. Oh, wow. There you go.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Frank Harris is taking out his frustration on Will Duvall on the 46 instead.
Where's Jeff Staub now? Where's the 24? Oh, there he is.
There he is. Yeah, Jeff. Jeff, that was a weak hit. What in the world? He disappears now. Ryan Bloom, strike
with
one.
a good one.
It is postseason. Samuel, how do you feel about the Dodgers and the Giants last night? That was
We're
a
not going to
heartbreaker,
talk about
wasn't it?
that. That is
I
frustration.
thought about you. I did. I thought about you.
Oh,
Yeah, at least it's a
that is so.
California team.
Nope,
You know,
nope, nope, nope,
California
nope.
team that
That
won.
no. We are no. I'm root for either the Red Sox or the Braves to win now.
Hey, that's
Those are
my
my
team.
teams.
That's my teams. Those are my two teams. So I'm like in a stalemate. Who do I go with if the Red Sox and the Braves go to the World Series? You know, and our producer's like, what? We're in Switzerland. Celebration going on here at Gateway. Let's give you your rundown, your LSRTV post-race results. And there they are. Sean Brightsman. The CRN won to go? I did. Sean Brightsman won. Kevin Smith, yeah, you're falling asleep. Kevin Smith is second. Ryan Bloom third. Fourth place, Jeff Stabnow all the way back 25 seconds. Stephen Paulison is fifth. James Vining sixth. Frank Harris is seventh. And Troy Daggett, the first car lap down Samuel in the top 8 on the field.
And then you got that of Robert Gamble, who just got a ninth place finish. Top 10, exactly what the 53 team needed. With Dennis Moore, said it in the chat, just wanted that track time experience. Dan Lather going to be getting 11th. Eric Cooper in 12th. But Judd Wakefield, he's going to have to come back. 13th place position for tonight's race. For one of our Elite 8, cannot have that type of finish. The 50, he's got to do a better job at Chicagoland next week with Ray Fortner as well as Will Duvall and Russ Lumberg going to be finishing out your 16 drivers that raced here tonight.
So we will get ready to talk to our top 3. Hey, by the way, our post-race report is presented by Finish Line. Join Finish Line every Wednesday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, now with video coverage of driver across America, from NASCAR to local dirt pavement. I can tell you that I've already reached out to the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing champion to be on Finish Line. He is supposed to get back in touch with me. I believe he will do it. And you never know what else we'll come up with. What was his name? Keegan Lee? Keegan Lee? Yeah.
Leahy. Keegan Leahy.
Whoever
and
it
the
was,
32.
Keegan Leahy. Yeah, he won. He's going to be on. I want to be his friend. He got $100,000. Keegan,
Hey,
I'm just messing.
also,
Keegan W. Leahy will be on Finish Line on Wednesday. And we will grab a word with our top 3 Finish Line post-race wrap-up from ARCA Northwest at Worldwide Technology Raceway in a moment. And welcome back to coverage of the Northwest iRace and ARCA series on your home for sim racing, LSRTV. We'll wrap things up here in just a moment with the finish line post-race wrap-up. And third place finisher joining us first is Ryan Bloom, driver of the car, number 25. Ryan, you're to the race, surviving it, and on to the next round. You're still in the round of 8 and still trying to get one of these races to advance to the championship at Vegas.
No, yeah, it was a good run. It was a lot of fun running up front with Sean, Kevin, and Dennis and Jeff there for a little while. And it's a tough track. It was just coming off 1 and 2. It was just really wanting to cut loose there or step out. And it was just really hard to kind of get control of that. But yeah, overall, good finish. And really hoping one of these days I can get another win. But Sean keeps messing up those plans. So we'll just have to keep trying and try again next week.
I mean, Ryan, you've shown so much speed each and every week. We know that win's going to be coming here quickly. But here tonight, I mean, yes, the track was difficult, but we saw only one green flag pit stop, and you were flying on that entry access road. How was it trying to get on and off this course for pit road?
Luckily, I practiced a little bit before and kind of knew how fast I could carry my speed in there through the corner. But yeah, you'll cook it in there a little too much, you're going to be off track. But it was a little tricky, but it wasn't too bad. And getting off pit road, kind of same thing. Kind of had to just maintain your kind of the speed there, not overdo it. But yeah, overall it was not bad pit stop. But I came out, I think, 3 seconds behind Kevin and kind of maintained that space or that gap pretty much the whole time until the end of that run.
Well, buddy, it's on to the next one. Before we do let you go, thank your sponsors. And third place for Ryan Bloom.
Yeah, thanks. I just want to thank again to Tom Dental Auto Group. And now we got the 125 next week for the winner of the race if we can somehow beat Sean. And so I appreciate them stepping up and providing that. And then just overall support for the series, Tom Dental Auto Group. And check out the website, tomdentalautogroup.com. Great selection of vehicles. And once again, thanks to you guys, LSRTV. You do a great job, and look forward to next week.
Well, there you go. That's Ryan Bloom. He is the man that will settle for third place. Runner-up in the event, and the man that's currently in the number 1 seed for the championship. Consistent run again behind Sean Breitzman, Hermiston, Washington, Kevin Smith. Kevin, your take of Worldwide Technology Raceway. Did you have fun? And what do you take from this ARCA race runner-up spot to prepare for Cup and Trucks on Monday and Wednesday?
Yeah, no, it was a fun race. I mean, but at the end of the day, it's Sean's world. We just all kind of live in it. It was, I actually thought, I'm not going to fight him too hard. Maybe I can come back there and, man, I just had nothing. I was trying everything. I was shifting, not shifting, shifting 1 corner, shifting 2 corners, putting wings on it, doing whatever I could. And he's just bad fast. But what a great performance by Sean tonight.
I mean, Kevin, we got to see a lot of early cautions coming out, something we really haven't seen for these past couple of races. How was it trying to adapt from the early cautions in those first 50 laps to the green flag racing we had later on?
Yeah, I mean, I just think, the cautions give you a little bit of a breather, but the longer runs give you some rhythm, right? And I didn't get a whole lot of practice in on this track, especially on the longer run. So it was kind of cool to get some runs and then get some cautions and to take a little bit of a break. But there's you just got to adapt because you never know. You never know when you're going to get a caution and when you got to kind of rev it back up again. But the cautions, they kind of came a little early, and we didn't get any late. I kind of hoped we could get one late there. I'd come and get some tires and maybe battle Sean a little bit.
Well, Kevin, it's on to the next round, but do you feel like you can be consistent and use these to advance your way to Vegas for the championship if you can't beat Sean Breitzman for wins?
Yeah, I mean, I think consistency is what I've got to work on. I mean, you guys point it out all the time, which is fantastic. But yeah, I mean, I've got speed, and I can put I just put laps together and put races together. I'll be fine. So that's just the mentality, and I wasn't gonna do anything. Well, I was trying not to do anything stupid tonight and just get a good result. So hopefully that translates into future races, and we can get in there for a Final Four because I love Vegas.
Love Vegas. Thank those sponsors. We'll see you Monday for the Cup Series, buddy.
Yeah, again, Tom Dental Auto Group, TomDentalAutoGroup.com. Just hugely appreciative of their support for me personally and for this series. It's such a great thing that they're doing. And then you guys, LSRTV, these broadcasts and what you guys do is just absolutely fantastic, and just love pushing people to these races and the broadcasts. And just really want to highlight a couple guys I haven't in the past that have really helped me in kind of my development. Ryan Bloom and Dennis Moore, just great guys in these series, great guys just overall. I just really appreciate what they do for me. So thank you.
Kevin Smith will settle for the number 2 position. We go to victory lane here at Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. 3 ARCA and okay, Samuel set me straight. I was only counting 6 that I've kept with. In 7 ARCA races, he's had 3 wins in the last 6.
Yeah,
out of 7 races, but he's got it done again. Driver in going on is, of course, Sean Brightsman. Sean, congratulations to you. Another dominating performance here tonight at Gateway. Your take on it?
Fun to come back after that nice week off there that we got and come to one of my tracks that I love to visit. I'm not always the fastest there, but tonight we were, and I was happy to see the Cheerios Hamburger Helper replica Aaron Crocker Dodge Charger.
Betty Crocker, Pillsbury, Cheerios. Got to thank all the food sponsors. We like them.
Yep, Totino's.
Oh man, all the food, it's always great. But Sean, you're going for, you're pushing the pot even more now with today's win. The pot's now up to $125 for an ARCA driver to win. As a non-ARCA driver, how do you keep finding this speed, especially at a track that really no one was prepared for?
I've raced it before in the trucks, ran it, several times in the Cup car and Xfinity with other leagues, and I've been doing this a long time, so it kind of just translates to kind of figuring out what I expect out of it the first 5 laps, and just kind of managing from there. To be honest, it's Worldwide Technology Raceway is a fantastic and fun track. I know I saw the news for Cup Series going there next year, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they do.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I know that's something that everybody in the NASCAR world is excited about, going to Worldwide Technology Raceway, and just an opportunity for you guys to do it here tonight on iRacing. It's got to be fun. Final question, and you can thank your sponsors in the segue as well so we can get off the air, Sean. What do you take from this race to help you for the Cup and Truck playoff races next week on Monday and Wednesday at Gateway?
Wins are always, boost that confidence, right? So, I felt good tonight. I kind of fell off there during that after that first yellow and second yellow when I pitted and fell behind and almost wrecked Jeff after getting loose. But just kind of consistency, kind of remembering how to run it in each car, take that first 5 laps, feel it out, figure out what you need to do. But we'll take that. We'll take the win with a big smile on our face and move on to Monday night and hopefully get in the top 5 and run well.
I love food. Thank you, sponsors.
I will do. Just got to thank, first off, of course, the Aaron Crocker throwback scheme here, Cheerios, Hamburger Helper, Pillsbury, Totino's, and then I got to thank my real sponsors on the Monday night and Wednesday night. Brights Boutique. Check us out at brightsboutique.etsy.com. Got to thank you guys at LSRTV. Got to thank the Tom Dental Auto Group for everything they do for this series, for the pot, as well as for the whole Northwest Racing Series in general. And I think that's it. And thank you, guys.
And that will wrap things up on the Finish Line post-race report. And of course, that is Sean Brightsman to Victory Lane. A quick break to thank our sponsor, Tom Dental Automotive Group, and Samuel and I will wrap things up from Worldwide Technology in just a moment.
An automobile purchase shouldn't be hard. The hardest part for the consumer in the whole process should be selecting the vehicle. We have the online credit application. We can bring the car to you to see it, to test drive it, to deliver it. We have all the tools in place, and we've had them in place for a long time. I just think now we've perfected it. It's become part of our culture. We've, kind of taken it to the next level. It is easy, and it should be easy, and it should be fun, and it shouldn't take a whole lot of time.
Welcome back to coverage of the Northwest iRacing Series on LSRTV. He is Samuel Dyer. I am Wesley Outland. I finally did it right, Samuel. I finally pointed in the right direction. I got it, finally. Left is right is left.
Slowly
Anyhow. What did you think of tonight's race here tonight at Gateway?
Yeah, tonight, I was expecting it to not have as many cautions. I think both of us were expecting maybe just a few, but that was first 50 laps. That was a trudge for a lot of these drivers just to get through. But man, once we got back to green flag racing, I think back to usual. Sean Breisman just doing what he does, win. And like you noted, on last 6 races that he's been a part of in these ARCA races, 3 wins, and just continuing to show that 46 is fast.
He's very good. But then you think of guys like Kevin Smith, Ryan Bloom, you even heard him say it himself, taking advantage of being consistent. There's nothing wrong with being consistent. Consistency is what wins races. In a time, it wins championships. When do you turn off the quest of trying to win races and go after the points to go after a championship? I think Kevin Smith is doing that, as well as Ryan Bloom, Samuel.
Yeah, both of them, you can kind of hear it from both their voices. Kind of a little frustrated. They want to win, but with Sean Breisman here, it's kind of hard to do so. So I think for both drivers, winning is on their mind every single week. But I think for all the guys that are further down, such as James Vining and as well as Frank Harris, those drivers finishing around top 5, that's what they needed here tonight. Top 10 finishes to make sure that they've got enough points, because they're keeping it close. Looking at the points battle, it is very close on who could point their way into the final 4. But man, it is certainly going to be a good run here to the end.
It should be a fun one. And of course, our next race is going to be on Monday night. The Northwest Cup Series, the playoffs, and the round of 8. My producer's in my ear. I just want to just. So anyhow, we got to get off the air. SpongeBob needs to go to the bathroom. But anyhow, Samuel, Cup Truck Series next Monday and Wednesday. Worldwide Technology Raceway. What do you think we're going to see after we saw this ARCA race here tonight?
I think we're going to be seeing a lot of wrecks for Monday. That is my prediction for Monday night. That the Cup guys have been aggressive, and they've brought out a lot of yellows. When we go from the ARCA over to Cup, it's always, hey, green flag racing in the ARCA to it's a melee. Who's going to survive in the Cup drivers? So for Cups, it's, in my opinion, probably going to be a melee. Who can survive that? It's going to be the key. Trucks, I'm excited for that one. That is when we're going to be seeing drivers try to pick and choose with those setups in the trucks.
Should be a good one. Always fun working with you, Samuel. Here's one for the road, my friend. At least one for the road.
No.
I'm losing oxygen, okay? Look for our time. Let's look at Worldwide Technology Raceway as we're still in Atlanta from the back. Hope you enjoyed our coverage tonight on your home for sim racing. It's been a fun time here tonight. Always enjoy working with Samuel Dyer. For Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten, and Rocket Media, for all of our crew, and of course the Northwest iRacing Series. For Samuel Dyer, I'm Wesley Outland. Congratulations, money, Sean Breisman, another win here at Worldwide Technology Raceway of Gateway. The Cup and the Truck get ready to go, and their round of 8 playoffs opener next week as well. Have a good one. Be good to one another, and thank you for watching on your home for sim racing.